So students, we have seen the derivation of magnetic field due to a long solenoid. Inside the solenoid we have derived the magnitude of the magnetic field, and we have seen the direction of the magnetic field. And we have also observed that inside the long solenoid magnetic field is uniform. So the distance between the magnetic field inside the long solenoid is same because it is uniform. And we have also seen that outside the solenoid magnitude of the magnetic field is very small. And as we want to find the magnitude of the magnetic field inside the solenoid, that's why we take the length of this empirical loop very large, so that the contribution of the magnetic field V dot dl for this AB segment becomes 0, because we don't want to include this term, because we are interested in finding the magnitude of the magnetic field inside the solenoid. So I think you have cleared this derivation. Empirical loop, angle between this part and this part D and dl is 90, so the contribution is 0. And for this, as we take it large, so magnetic field is very less, so we can neglect that term. Only the term left for this reason, as you have seen. But in reality, the magnitude of the magnetic field outside is something, whether it is small, but there is magnetic field outside. Now we are going to derive the magnitude of the magnetic field because of a structure, and that structure is called toroid. So let's start to derive the magnetic field because of a structure, and which is called toroid. So what is toroid? Just bend the solenoid and join both the ends, like in solenoid it is a cylindrical, and if we bend and join both the ends of the cylindrical, so it would be this type of structure, and there is in between these two concentric circles, the space is either hollow, air or vacuum, or it could be a magnetic material also. So now we would wound the wire like this. Wire is going inside and coming. In this way, we have wrapped the wire in this structure, and this current is flowing. Let's say I naught, current is entering, I naught, current is coming out, I naught. Current is entering, I naught, current is coming out, I naught. Entering, I naught, coming out. Finally, current is coming out, which is I naught. So this structure is called toroid, and we want to find the magnitude of the magnetic field in between this region. So let's draw another figure as we have drawn in the solenoid. So let's take another figure. For these parts where the current is going inward in this blackboard, and from this part current is coming out from this blackboard. So this part is represented as plus, this direction is represented as like this, and for outer parts this is dot. So this is I naught, I naught, I naught, I naught entering, I naught coming out. So we would derive using this structure as we have derived in the solenoid. So first of all we would observe the direction of the magnetic field. So let's start to observe the direction of the magnetic field in region between the toroid. So here you can see that at this part, let's say at this point we would take the right hand, we would take the Maxwell screw rule. This is Maxwell, this is screw, and we would take the upper part because from here the point is upward direction, so we would take a point on the upper part of this screw. So we would place the screw like this, and because it is current is inward, so we would move in this direction clockwise direction, and the upper part is going like this. So the direction of the magnetic field because of this part is like this. Let's take this element. Now place the screw like this. Now we would observe the lower part of this screw, this part. Concentrate on this part. When we move the screw, let's see where this point is moving, and the screw is moved in the not like this, it is moved anti-clockwise. So when you move the screw anti-clockwise, so that point is moving in the same direction. So what it means? It means inside the toroid, magnitude of the magnetic field is adding, direction is in the same direction. It means strong magnetic field inside the toroid. So let's start to derive. Let's say an empirical loop. First of all, we want to derive the magnetic field inside at a point, let's say here. And for this, let's assume this is A and this is B. The radius of lower part is A and the upper part is B. And we want to find the magnitude of the magnetic field at this point. And for that, we would take the empirical loop. So here we are taking, this is loop curve 1, so this is C1. And we would find the magnitude of the magnetic here also. So let's take a second loop, curve 2, and outside curve 3, loop 3. So we have 3 empirical loop, curve 1, 2 and 3. First of all, we would find the magnitude of the magnetic field at this point, which is on this empirical loop. Actually, at which point we want to find the magnitude of the magnetic field? Empirical loop. That point must be on the empirical loop. So that's why this point is on the empirical loop. And let's say this is point P. At this point, let's say this is Q. At this point, let's say this is R. So for the point P, P, integration B dot dl over which curve? This curve name is as C1, so I am naming as C1, and B dot dl. Now we would not concentrate on the B dot dl. We would concentrate on the mu naught I net. Let's check here. Is there any current passing through this loop, this curve? No. Because inside this curve there is no current. Current is here. Current is here. There is no current. Are you seeing any current inside this curve which is passing? No. So it means this is 0. And this is 0. C1 B dot dl equal to 0. It means either B0 either dl0. dl cannot be 0 because it is random. So it means B is 0. So finally B is 0 for C1, yeah, or point at point P. So it means magnitude of the magnetic field inside this region is 0. But we have seen in the solenoid there is the magnetic field outside and inside, but the magnitude is very less, but magnetic field is there. At this point, so let's solve for this. Integration over the curve C3 B dot dl equal to mu naught times I net. Let's concentrate on I net. So for this loop, this portion is inside this loop, and what is the total current which is passing through this loop? Let's see. Current is increasing I0, current is coming I0, current is increasing I0, current is coming I0. So what is the net amount of current which is passing? 0. The amount of current which is entering, the same amount of current is coming out. So it is the net current passing through this particular loop C3 is 0 again. So it is 0. So finally B is 0. So it means magnitude of the magnetic field outside this toroid is also 0. So this structure actually removing the drawbacks of solenoid where the magnitude of the magnetic field outside the solenoid was present. However, it is small, but it is present. It was present. Okay. Now, finally, we would solve for this reason. For this cavity, we would solve for the curve C2 B dot dl mu naught times I net. As the direction of the magnetic field is radial, so we would take the direction of the current element in the direction of the magnetic field. So the current element, so the length element, not the current element. So the length element here is this in this way clockwise, and the magnitude of and the direction of the magnetic field we have already seen. It is also in this direction. So the angle between B and dl at a particular point is 0. So we can say integration, closed integration, B dot dl is B dl cos 0, and it is finally C not C, this is C2, and this is B dl equal to mu naught times I net. Mu naught times I net. So students, we have already seen here, let's say it is a distance r. We have already seen here this empirical loop from this point is at a constant distance. It means magnitude is constant at all the points on this empirical loop C2. So B is constant. We can take this B take out from this integration. So finally we have C2 dl equal to mu naught times I net. And what is integration of dl over the C2? All the dl small dl are adding. So it is the circumference of this loop. So it is 2 pi r. So it is B 2 pi r equal to mu naught I net. And what is I net? Current is entering I naught. So what is I net? How we want to find the I net? The total current. This is I naught into I naught into I naught into I naught. How many turns are there in that toroid? Let's say there are total n number of turns. Let capital N number of turns, capital N number of turns in the toroid. There are total n number of turns in the toroid, and from each turn current I naught is going passing. So from n number of turns, because all the turns are enclosing, so from the n number of turns the net current is flowing is n I naught. So put this value here, b 2 pi r mu naught, and it is n I naught. Divide this, b equal to mu naught n I naught upon 2 pi r. What is this? N upon 2 pi r. N is the total number of turns. It means in 2 pi r length, which is circumference in 2 pi r length, there are n number of turns. So the turns per unit length is what? It is n upon 2 pi r. So n upon 2 pi r is the turns per unit length. So it can be represented as small n I naught. N upon 2 pi r is small n. We can say number of turns per unit length. So finally, formula b equal to mu naught n I naught is same as we have derived in the solenoid, but the difference between the toroid and solenoid you have seen here, the magnetic field in between inside this portion and outside the toroid is zero, totally zero. There is no magnetic field. It means magnetic field is confined in this region only. So whenever we have required a confined magnetic field, we would use this toroid. So this part is finalized. So we would next talk about force. We would start the force. Thank you.